Welcome to the Everything Podcast. This episode, I'm to be reacting to the 2026 summer specials of Mock the Week that have recently finished. But yeah, so before I get into the episode properly, I'm recording this episode on the 1st of July, 2026. And without further ado, here is the trailer for Mock the Week. I couldn't find one from the summer specials, so I found one from the first series on TLC. So here is the trailer for Mock the Week.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. You probably remember me from the comedy television show Mock the Week. Oh, remember that? Great times. Well, I'm here to tell you about a brand new show on TLC, full of the funniest comedians doing topical jokes about the week's news. It's called Mock the Week. Yes, it's Mock the Week. We're back, baby, back from the dead, because the party never stops.
Woo! Brand new Mock the Week, coming soon to TLC.
So now that was the trailer for Mock the Week, a short one at least. And I'm going to go through each episode. Now, the summer specials, I think originally it was meant to be 5 episodes of summer specials, but only 4 because a new show titled Unacceptable, which I will kind of touch on briefly, starts this Sunday, the 5th of July as of time of recording. Will have gone. It's one of those podcast things where it's my future but your past, because of how far in advance I record. It's only a couple of days. Anyway, so we're going to start off with episode 1, which kind of kicks off the summer specials, featuring Rhys James, who's in every single episode like he was in season 1 and will be in season 2. Alongside Ed Gamble, who is now the host of Unacceptable, and he's returning to Mock the Week after he was appearing on the previous iteration of Mock the Week before it was cancelled by the BBC. So we see kind of what happens there, alongside Sarah Pascoe, who appeared in the reboot during, I think, in the first episode of the reboot as well. With episode 1, it's kind of is hard to talk about, so I can only speak about the guests. In episode 2, obviously Rhys James and Sarah Pascoe were there, alongside Hugh Dennis, who was in, I think, every single episode minus one of the original show. Not so much anymore, but does pop up every now and then. Glenn Moore, who kind of appears again here and then. Scott Bennett, who made his Mock the Week debut, I think in episode 8 of the first series on TLC. Then we move on to episode 3, featuring Rhys James again. Maisie Adam, who appeared on the show in the previous form, similar to Ed Gamble. Glenn Moore's back in this one. Ed Byrne, kind of similar thing, kind of appearing ever so often. And then Chris Ramsey, who hasn't been on it for a while. Who is what was I going to say? Who I know from presenting a podcast, TV shows, and all the things. And then we move on to the finale of the 2026 Mock the Week summer specials, with Rhys James again, Hugh Dennis in this episode 2, Ed Byrne, Milton Jones and Angela Barnes returning from kind of making appearances ever so often in the reboot and in the previous iteration as well, and then that's kind of it. So that kind of isn't too much I can talk about, because it is one of those shows that is hard to talk about, but is really enjoyable and funny. So if you've got Discovery Plus, you can check it out there. It is also available on the TLC YouTube channel. I don't know if you're outside the UK, you can watch it though. I don't know that. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to find out because I live here in the UK, so I can't say that. But if you're worried about, when's Mock the Week coming back? We've got season 2, which was announced a little while ago, coming back in. I think it was announced before the summer specials, where this was like a gap with the World Cup and stuff. For September. I think it could be later in September. I think it'll start back when Unacceptable finishes. I don't know how many episodes that is. But speaking of unacceptable. If there's a trailer, I will show it you. If not, let's have a Google. We've got a first look. Oh, we've got a clip. So here is somewhere a few clips actually. Oh. Yeah, no, so I've got here is a clip from Unacceptable, which, as I mentioned, will launch on TLC on the 5th of July 2026, which is in my future and your past. Here is a clip from Unacceptable.
Right, it's time to deep dive into our guests' minds and unearth their most horrific opinion. Joanne, who's stepping up from your team?
It is King Ram.
It's Romesh Ranganathan. In a moment, Romesh, you'll reveal your opinion, another one, and remember, the audience is already on your side. And we will put it to a vote.
I cannot see this going well.
The idea of the game is that you have to win over this audience, whilst the other team dismantle your argument piece by piece.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Romesh, if you're ready, please confess your deeply unacceptable opinion.
My unacceptable opinion is that we should pay the royals more.
So let's see how many of the audience find it unacceptable. Audience, it's time to vote. Press 1 if you think Romesh's opinion is unacceptable. Press 2 if you think, well, none of you are pressing 2, let's be honest. Okay, let's take a look. It's too late, Romesh, it's too late.
Guys, can they vote again?
No, here it is. So, 92% of the audience think that that is an unacceptable opinion.
So let me just make a point here. I said you were racist. Look how you voted against the brown guy.
And to be fair, against the royal family.
Yeah.
Joanne, as Romesh's team captain, are you ready to back this opinion?
I am a huge royalist, as you know, Ed.
Yes, as an Irish person.
As an Irish person. And yes, it is unusual.
Yeah.
But I am a trailblazer. And I've always had a soft spot for them. Let's hear this. Let's go.
Okay, Romesh, please talk us through your reasoning here.
My first point, Ed, and audience, is that they provide entertainment for the nation. And I think they're great value for it. Yeah, the royals are essentially our longest running soap opera. Marriages, deaths, fights, affairs, car crashes. You know, you move into Chester, it's basically... moving to Chester, it's basically Hollyoaks. Do you know what I mean? It's better.
Get a paedophile ring on Hollyoaks.
No. I've got to be honest with you, that's the one thing I thought Hollyoaks was missing.
Yeah.
You know? And be honest, like, they are just box office. Do you know what I mean? If I told you now I had nudes of the royals,
Yeah.
you don't want to see, right?
Depends
Yes.
which one.
All of them.
Okay, which one are you thinking, Ed? There's actually none I can think of that I'd like to see nude. But Camilla for scientific reasons.
Definitely. I like Camilla, actually.
Yeah?
She's a bit of a slut muffin. I think she'd be a good night out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She married the man who said he wants to be a tampon. I mean, that's out there, isn't it?
He's comfortable with the female body.
He's a sexual
menstruation.
beast.
Yeah.
He's a feminist.
Yeah. Stick that down the list.
Yeah,
He's a feminist.
he's a feminist. He wants to be a tampon.
That was a clip from Unacceptable, which, apologies for the bad language there. I didn't kind of realise I should have done it. I should have put a warning out, but here's kind of the retro warning. But yeah, that's kind of it. To let me know what you thought of the 2026 summer specials, if you watch them, as well as if you're looking forward to Unacceptable, hosted by Ed Gamble, with Richard Ayoade and Joe McNally as team captains, alongside a bunch of comedians, including some of the names that I mentioned whilst I was talking about Mock of the Week. But without further ado, I will see you in the future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.